Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Devi Larasati, NPM 234111004, from Class Management 23 Dex. Here I will explain the material the empirical model. In research methodology, an empirical model is a form or framework that describes the relationship between variables based on real-world observations, experiences, and actual data obtained through the research process. This model is used to illustrate how one variable affects another in practice, not merely based on theory. In other words, an empirical model helps researchers understand and explain cause and effect relationships or patterns of association between variables in the real world, using data collected through observation, surveys, experiments, or other methods. For example, if a researcher wants to study the influence of work motivation on employee productivity, an empirical model would present the relationship between the motivation variable, as the independent variable, and productivity, as the dependent variable, based on real data collected from a specific company or organization. An empirical model is typically developed after the researcher conducts a preliminary study and establishes a theoretical framework along with initial hypotheses. The model is then tested through data collection and analysis to determine whether the relationships among variables in the model actually occur in the field. This process involves measuring variables, collecting data, and conducting statistical analyses such as regression, correlation, or other appropriate tests depending on the research design. The results of testing an empirical model can be used to support existing theories, improve previous models, or even generate new theories. Therefore, empirical models are not only important in quantitative research, but also serve as a bridge between theory and practice in the real world. Empirical models also play a significant role in decision-making, especially in fields such as economics, management, healthcare, education, and other social sciences. By using models built on real data, decisions can be more accurate and relevant because they are based on facts rather than mere assumptions. However, developing an empirical model must be done carefully and systematically, because if the data used is invalid or if the model is poorly constructed, the results can be misleading. Thus, researchers must have a clear understanding of the variables involved, the data collection techniques, and the appropriate analysis methods to ensure that the resulting empirical model is reliable and can be effectively used as a foundation for both research and practical application. That's all my presentation. Thank you.